and welcome to the Sunday Guardian show by Joyeeta Basu. I'm the editor of the weekly newspaper The Sunday Guardian, published from New Delhi. Now today I want to speak about the free-for-all attitude that the Western media is displaying towards Indians in general and Hindus in particular, to the extent that they can get away by painting a target on our back, endangering our lives. Now this is in context of the recent arrest of a man named Majid Freeman in the UK for what the police said, encouragement of terrorism and supporting a proscribed organization. If you remember, this man was in the forefront of spreading misinformation and disinformation against Hindus in Leicester, UK in 2022, post the India-Pakistan match, which resulted in some scuffle among Indians and Pakistanis. Now this led to violence, intimidation of Hindus, attacks were prevented on Hindu temples. But then that is how these Islamists are. Does not excuse what they do, but that is how they are. The problem is the Western mainstream media. Now they took this man's words against Hindus at face value and falsely accused them of inciting the violence in the Leicester case. Now there was no attempt to investigate what actually happened. It was just a one-sided tirade against a community and an attempt to say that the violence in Leicester was actually inspired by the RSS and BJP. Now it was like, oh, you are a Hindu, then you must be the problem. You must be a supremacist and thus you are fair game. We can get away by saying anything against you. Now it should be a matter of concern that this narrative has started dominating the Western media discourse. It is happening everywhere, be it in the UK, the US, or even Australia. And this is being taken advantage of by the Islamists and the Khalistanis, who are carrying on with this campaign on an industrial scale. Their messages are being amplified by journalists, academics, lobbyists, activists, most of whom have direct links with Pakistan. And if there is Pakistan, can China be far behind? Because don't forget, Pakistan does not have the money. It is a bankrupt country and the generals, the majority of whom are dollar billionaires, will not spend their personal money for all this. So the money comes from China, and Pakistan, apart from carrying on with its own anti-India propaganda, acts as China's proxy. The Chinese too are sometimes directly involved, as was alleged recently in the Adani case. Now all this is part of their political warfare to defeat an adversary without firing a bullet. I'm talking about the Chinese. Now what is aggravating matters is the sudden realization in the West that Indians are the most successful demography in countries like the US and UK. Now the more this is publicized, it stirs jealousy and resentment at the local level, which all these forces inimical to Indians and Hindus will exploit. Caste is now being equated with race, and attempts are being made to bring weird laws ostensibly against caste, but laws that will end up hurting Hindus. The narrative that is being spun, it seems as if India is a criminal state which does not have any anti-caste discrimination laws or does not have affirmative action. Now, Hindus are openly being accused of supremacism. It is being said that they are bringing their barbaric customs and practices to the civilized Western world. Isn't it ironic that Indians, that Hindus who were the worst victims of white colonial rule, victims of white supremacism, will now be equated with white supremacists? And the Western media is willingly allowing this narrative to be played out, just because it thinks India does not deserve a place on the global high table. Add to this their hatred for the current Indian government and you will understand the game that is going on. They are giving us the Vladimir Putin treatment. They are abusing us because it is acceptable, which they will never do with other religious demographies. What are we doing to counter this? Or what do we need to do? Well, India is not a pushover. The Indian diaspora is not a pushover. So we are not going to roll over and offer our other cheek for slapping. Most importantly, As it happened in the Majid Freeman case, the truth always comes out, sooner or later. But we have to be very careful and ensure that this hatred is not mainstreamed. Thank you for watching. Until the next time.